Hello and welcome to the Foresters Forest podcast. My name is Nikki Ruck and I'm a podcast producer for Wildwood Arts. In today's episode, we're heading to the Bixslade Valley to visit Monument, one of the last traditional Freeminers in the forest. Ray Ashley, his son Richard and his grandson James are there to guide me around and to shed a bit of light on the tradition of free mining.
This is a railway track, a narrow gauge railway. So this is a 20-inch. We haven't gone metric in the forest.
Clear when the engine starts.
Is that on there, Rich? So I'm Grandad Ray. I've been working in the coal mine industry since 1977 as a full-time job. And I've been in this valley since 2000 and I will be 70 this year.
What do you get when you go free mining? What do you get when you go free mining? What do you get when you go free mining early in the morning?
We've got 2 carts of coal we got out last Tuesday, so we're going to bring those out now and screen them. We throw them over different size mesh, and that brings it out into 4 different sizes of coal, and each size of coal is a different price. Once the carts are empty, the lads can take them back down and fill them again.
What do you get when you go free mining? What do you get when you go free mining? What do you get when you go free mining early?
My father was a miner. We can trace our ancestry back on my father's side into several coal fields going through the South Wales pits and then through the Midlands and then right up into the Scottish pits as well. My mother's side, they were lighthouse keepers. I don't like the sea, so I stuck to the pit work. It started very easily. Used to take the dog out for a walk, and there was a little mine just like this. Got talking to the old guys, come and have a look. And I started going there every night then, and that was back in 74 or 5. And in 77 I was working for Rank Xerox, and I thought I liked working in the pit better than Rank Xerox, and that was it. I just gave my job up and went to work in the pit.
The mine is nestled amongst the pine trees deep in the forest. A hodgepodge of ramshackled sheds, containers, tippers, tractors and rail track. A real feast for the eyes. I asked Ray how it all evolved.
This started off in the 1970s as a hole in the ground and a little lorry. That was it. And it's gradually grown up. The tips got a lot bigger because first of all it was just tipped on the floor. On the bottom, Mike. Yeah. That's NATO sheds, right? That's air transport sheds. They're aluminium, so they never rust. That's an RE shipping container which we got our generator in. The entrance is actually a petrol tank from a garage, right? That's been converted to make it into a nice secure entrance so that you stop anybody getting in. The second way out, which you can see there, that's the back of a refrigerated lorry. So we use anything and everything we can get our hands on. We've been recycling before recycling was popular.
How long has the mine been running?
This entrance has been open since about 1987, I think, and there was another entrance lower down which failed, and that one was opened in 1984. But there's other entrances in the bank that go back into the 1930s. So this valley has been worked since about 1770. So it makes a nice continuity. A lot of industrial in the forest, obviously, but this one is probably the longest of the lot.
So how many of you are going down today then?
I would think 1, 2, 3. 3 tonight. Yeah, myself and Richie, we got some work to do on the loading shovel, and then we got grandson and sons here.
So what is that you're putting on top?
You need to extend the rails further down because we keep moving forward.
How deep in the mine have you gone then?
Just over 400 yards.
Right.
So this goes down on this incline for about 200 yards, and then we turn 90 degrees, run along the level then, and go another 200 yards out to where the actual coal face is. So it's quite a long way in. We're trying to take the timber collie, Rich? Yeah, so we got a shortened version which we use for transporting the materials in because it's so low You can't put anything on top of the carts.
Right.
The actual coal face, you are on your hands and knees. If you're lucky. So most of the time you're on your stomach. But the roads are anything between sort of 5 foot high and 3'6", so it's very low.
Do you feel frightened at all? Claustrophobic down there?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, if you had claustrophobia, you would never do it. It is the dark. Yeah, it's just to be seen to be believed how dark it is. You sit down there with the lights out, and it is pitch black. But it's lovely. I love it.
Ray and fellow free miner Richard Daniels works Monument only as a part-time venture now. I asked him to explain why. You said it was a full-time venture, but now it's part-time.
Yeah, we just do it part-time now, yeah.
Why is that?
I've retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Rich is a museum curator. He's got Hopewell Colliery Museum. So in the summer, normally, without the COVID, he would be over there at this time of the year. And then we'd just work this in the winter then.
What days are you open?
Well, at the moment we're on Saturday mornings and Tuesday nights. There's no sale obviously in the summer anyway, you can only buy coal. So it's more or less a maintenance schedule through the summer. What we're doing now is just putting timber up, and it's a bit like painting the Forth Bridge. There's 400 yards of road open. Some of it's been open since the 1980s. There's a lot of repair work to do all the time.
Luckily, there are always some willing workers ready to give a hand. So what are you doing now?
They're getting the kit ready to take underground now. So we're just hitching up the carts. We're going to go on top. We trust them.
I'm Mike. I've been down here now for nearly 7, and I originally came here to buy coal, and then got chatting, and one day old Rich said, "Will you come down?" And I haven't stopped since.
How many times do you come then?
As much as I can, twice a week, yeah. As much as I can, yeah.
Because you love it?
It is like a fever. You get out of it and you've got to go down, similar to that. And it's good to get out of the house as well.
Did the old men say once you get coal in your navel, you'll never wash it out?
No, you can't get rid of it then. No, it's there forever.
Come on then.
Are you ready to go?
Oh, you're
All right,
going.
yeah, they're going to go down now then. Yeah, so got a meter? No. This is very much Marmite. You love it or you hate it. Some people go to the entrance and they can't even go 6 foot underground. And others, like my grandson, he's been coming down since he was about 6. And he's been working here since he was 11.
Wow.
I'm Richard, I'm the dad. I'm 46 and I've been involved in mining for probably 15 years recently, but since I was small enough to sit in a cart and have a ride underground. So I've been going underground since I was probably 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
So
Did you have any choice?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, we've didn't have it pushed on us at all. It wasn't until I was probably 30 odd that I started to get really interested in it and wanted to start my own pit. So we had plenty of help at the time, and that's how I got into it. We worked here for probably 12 months on and off to learn the skills of the job, and then started my own mine then.
So where's your mine?
Up in the next valley over, well, the next two valleys over. Yeah, in Salavalets, yeah. The actual mine's called the Buckholt, which was the name given to it, I think, when it was started probably 100 odd years ago.
And how often are you down there?
Not very often at the minute, no. Work and other commitments, but it's still there ready to work. So we probably go in there once a month to make sure it's all good and secure and safe. And that's about it at the minute, really. Just waiting for the opportunity to get back in there.
I'm the son James Ashley. I'm 17 years old and I've been going down since I was 5 or 6, just to see what it's all about. As soon as I started secondary, about 11, 12, I was offered to come down and have a look. That's when I kind of took an interest in it then. So to start off with, I was on the top just helping out, and then she was offered to come down and have a look as well. I just enjoyed it. Yeah, something new, something different. I say not many people can say that they've experienced something like this. Well, something that I'd be proud to say that I've done as well.
What do your friends say?
And so they don't normally believe it half the time. When you say, "Oh yeah, I've worked in a coal mine," they kind of surprised then.
What's your job normally then?
I'm an apprentice maintenance engineer for a firm up in Gloucester, so that's my weekly job. And then, let's say, spare time as well, come down here. Used to be every weekend, but now I've got a Land Rover. No, mine's in a shed in bits.
It seems that Richard and James are not the only member of Ray's family that have been down a mine.
I've got a granddaughter, and she was underground before she was born. She went down with her mother when he was pregnant. And yeah, she goes underground. She loves it as well. She's about 12 now, something like that. Yeah, she got no fear at all. She would just go straight down there with no problem at all. But, and she's the only one who could actually be a free miner. Because to be a free miner, you have to be born in the forest. And my son and my grandson were both born in Gloucester, but my granddaughter was born at home. So she can be a free miner.
So does that mean your son and your grandson aren't free miners?
No, they can't be free miners, but they can free mine.
Right.
It's a very fine distinction, but you have to be born in the forest to be able to register yourself as a free miner. But there's nothing to stop you actually free mining. Yeah, it's obviously getting less and less people aren't being born at home anymore. But the free mining tradition can still carry on because of people like myself, my grandson and my son.
So do you get a certificate or something if you're a free miner?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you get a little blue slip. And then there's a chap in Colford called the Gaveler, and he's got a big book, and your name goes in the book and the number and the date that you registered, and that's in there, and that goes right back to about 1840, and all the names have been put in there, and you just get it added on the end.
So as well as being born in the forest, is it true you have to spend many hours underground?
To do a year and a day, which is just like an apprenticeship, you have to be 21 years of age. Until very recently you had to be male. We have actually got one lady free miner been registered now.
So your granddaughter,
Was born in the forest,
so
she could
be-
theoretically she could become a free miner.
and what do you think about females being free miners?
No problem at all if they come and do the proper training. Absolutely no problem. I think if anybody's got enough about them to come down there and shovel a couple of ton of coal, put some timber up and use one of those jackhammers, then you're welcome.
I've got
But-
no hope then.
So they're down the bottom now. So they want they're ready to go down. All right, cheers.
So that's like an alarm call, a bell?
No, that's a signal system. Very simple. 2 to lower, 3 to raise. It's almost idiot-proof.
What would you say to any aspiring free miners then?
Come and try it.
Yeah, come and have a go.
God, I've got to come and try it.
Can anyone come down here?
Well, you're certainly welcome to come on the top. Yeah, we've stopped taking people underground because of the insurance issues. So what we tend to say to anybody now, if you want an underground experience, I mean obviously this summer's out, but normally we would say come and have a look around here by all means, but then go over to the museum and then you get a proper conducted tour underground. And it's almost identical to conditions underneath the ground, except you ain't got the mud. You've got a nice concrete floor to walk on. But other than that, it's very authentic. I love this valley. I think it's something special. I really love it. We've seen it change an awful lot. This bank, when we first started, was all these massive Douglas fir. So this was very, very dark. And then I don't know, 5-6 years ago, they cut it all down, and it opened it up quite a bit. So, but yeah, it's forestry. It's part of the life. It's home, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it's a place we always want to come back to. No matter where you go, the forest is just where you want to be.
There was an old saying, happy is the eye between Severn and Wye. And that's us. We've got the Severn on one side, the Wye the other, and we're the eye in the middle. And that is us. And I think we're very proud of where we live.
Yeah, definitely.
Very, very lucky as well. We do appreciate we are in a very special position. We're in the middle of a national park. That's a bird reserve next door. And we've got a coal mine. You wouldn't do that anywhere else in the country.
Well, I've had a fantastic evening here in the forest finding out about free mining, and now for something quite special. Here is the Lidbrook Band playing us out with Gresford, the Miners' Hymn, which was arranged for brass bands by Robert Saint in 1936. wonderful version was recorded in the garden last night by 6 of the band's members, keeping socially distanced, of course. Till next time. You have been listening to the Forest is Forest podcast, brought to you with thanks to the Heritage Lottery Fund.